Okay, we're back. Hopefully I'll be able to finish all this and one last video for you, not spending your weekend watching videos. Okay, we said that wavelength depends on the velocity and the frequency we're using. And again, this is for any wave, but for ultrasound too. If we have an increase in the frequency, we get great resolution, but we have no depth. If we have a decrease in frequency or use a lower frequency, hey, we can go further, but there's not really a resolution. So we're constantly sort of fighting between these two. It's not that no resolution means we can't see anything, and it doesn't mean that no depth means we can't go anywhere. It's just that it's not ideal. Okay, so we go deeper. Typically, we use a lower frequency. When we're more superficial, like in vascular, we use a higher frequency. Okay, so ultimately, since frequency depends on that, wavelength, the resolution that we see depends on wavelength also. All right, smaller wavelengths, that's when they're really close together. That's a small wavelength. We'll see small stuff. All right, you think of a small little stream, small wavelength, small stream, will hit the sticks that are sitting in it. You know, it gets banged all around. If we have a very long wavelength, so it's a big wavelength, it doesn't see the small stuff. That's why it can go deeper. Hello. That's why it can go deeper. There we go. A bigger wavelength means a lower frequency, so it can go deeper. Why? Because it doesn't see the small stuff. What does doesn't see? Doesn't see for us means it doesn't run into it and get reflected. If I have a smaller wavelength, because I have a high frequency, I'm going to see the small stuff. That's where we get the resolution. Seeing something in our world, again, is because we came down with a sound wave, it hit it, and it reflected back. We're all about echoes. So if we get reflected off little stuff, we're seeing little stuff. That means we have good resolution. So wavelength ultimately determines what kind of resolution and depth we have. All right, let's see if we can't finish this up. I'm going to bring up the another clear image here, and we can start and talk about the last thing. All right, so we said earlier that voltage is our units for amplitude. We drew some waves in some earlier videos, and we have volts. So the more volts we put on something, due to the piezoelectric effect, basically the louder or stronger it's going to vibrate and send out waves. So when we increase the power knob, and a lot of times that'll be called the transmit power or the power send, that means it's going into the body. When we increase the power, what's really happening in the background is we're increasing the voltage, increasing the volts, that's bad, to cause more power, to get a bigger vibration to cause more power. So we had that power, intensity, amplitude squared we've talked about. Well, the order really is I increase the amplitude, which is volts, and what that's going to do is increase the power into the body, and as the power increases, we get the intensity. Intensity, again, is how much power over area. Think of it as you stand on both feet. It's your sort of you standing on sort of like a pressure, but this is for electrical or energy. Intense, if we take a light bulb and put it over the whole room, it's not very bright. But put the light bulb over your little eye, that becomes very intense. Okay? So we have power, intensity, amplitude squared. Now, intensity depends on the beam area. And just so we can start memorizing a few things, the beam area is a minimum at the focus. So as a transducer, draw this really quick, sends out the wave, the beam area, it converges, diverges. Here's the focus. We get the minimum area right at the focus. And what does that mean? That means we have the max intensity. And it's kind of a good thing because that's our area of focus. We want the most light. It's like dialing in your mag, those big black mag lights, right? You dial it in so focus is where you want it.